GM to YouTube. They have added the Toa changes update, which is very, very hype. So they have made Toa dramatically easier. Multiple rooms much easier. I would argue the biggest change is Akkha. Now, instead of praying 2 styles, he prays 1. Only the style that he's using. That means that when you go into Akkha, he will be praying only melee. And that means that we can range butterfly. Ooh. That's dramatically better than maging. Mage has always been our worst style by far. Trident is really, really weak compared to Bofa. Bofa is a lot better. And this scales with raid level. So the higher this is 300 raid level. At even higher raid levels, I'm going to be showing it at a 500 just to give ourselves a lot of time to show butterfly. But the higher you go in raid level, the more Bofa exceeds Trident. So now when we do butterfly, we have a really, really good option. Not only only can you do it with ranged, if you go into the invocations and you add this one, Stay Vigilant, they've changed this invocation. What it does is it makes him do a special attack 1 attack earlier. So instead of doing it every 7 attacks, he'll do Simon Says every 6 attacks, okay? What this also does is if you do butterfly perfectly and you don't get hit at all, he will never, ever, ever change style. So that means not only can you butterfly with ranged, you also can do it the entire kill. Crazy. So if you don't have a shadow, your raids just became 4 minutes faster. Something like that on average. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's the same as 4-tick butterfly with a Trident before, except you get to do it permanently. And your Bofa is a solid weapon on the shadows, which you have to kill as well. What you used to do is you could 4-tick butterfly with a Trident and then shadows would pop up and it's okay, I got to go to blowpipe. I got to start shooting it because you're never going to beat the shadow DPS check with a Trident, but now you just get to Bofa the entire time, which is a pretty good option on the shadows as well. Excellent options for everything. So I'm going to run in on a 500. I'm going to do it as first room, so it's going to be even slower. 500 just with ranging pot without salt, and I'll bring stamina and just show you how to do it, and we'll go from there. I'll see you guys when we get there. 1 second. Here we are at Akkha. We're there. We made it. Okay? These are our tiles. What I'm using to mark tiles is just the tile packs plugin. So if you go download external plugin tile packs, you just search up butterfly. It'll have normal butterfly tiles and it'll have 4-tick tiles. You want the 4-tick tiles, right? So I'm just using those. I'm not using my own tiles. I'm just using those. They work fine. So before we go in, we see, first of all, he's praying melee right now. He used to do melee range. So that's our big difference. So that means that allows us to butterfly with Bofa. Big thing you need to do before you try this is make sure you get true tile set up. It's going to make it so much easier to do this because we use that as a cue for when to start attacking. And you really don't have to do this if you do it perfectly, is I have colors set up. If you do !Akkha color in my Twitch chat, you can see those as well. I have all 3 of his different styles radius marked because all of his styles are different. So if he's attacking with melee, ranged, mage, I have them color coded. So you can see instantly if you mess up and he changes style. So it just helps you just immediately know what's going on. So I'd recommend grabbing that. That doubles as your true tile as well. That radius marker will work. If you don't want to use that, that's fine. You have to go into NPC indicators, add Akkha as an NPC, and you're going to highlight true tile. And I always highlight Southwest true tile as well. Now there's a lot of tiles here and it can be very overwhelming, but I promise it's very, very simple. We have 3 attack tiles. What you're looking at is we're going to be attacking Akkha within one of the quadrants, and then we're going to be moving to the next quadrant once we've killed the shadow. So we're doing 20% of Akkha's health, then killing the shadow, and then moving him to the next quadrant. There are 3 tiles we're going to attack on, and you want to go in the direction that the tile says. So this one is clockwise, this one is counterclockwise. So you're going to flip it basically when you rotate over here. So you want to just be double checking that, make sure you're going the correct direction. Otherwise, you're going to start taking melees. Here's what you're going to do. And it's very, very simple. When you start the room, you're going to go to this tile and start shooting Akkha. When his true tile is 1 tile away from you, so he's going to start walking up to you, walking. When his true tile is 1 tile away, that's when you're going to move. It doesn't matter if you did a shot, doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to immediately move. And you're going to click to here and then to here. And now what you're going to do is you're going to run in a circle, and every time you get to an attack tile, you're going to attack. I know, mind-blowing. Right? So true tile gets next to you, run to this tile, run to here. So these indicator tiles in between are telling you a spot you need to click to in between. We can do that. We can do that. A tile you need to run to in between. So you're going to attack here, run to here, attack. Run to here, attack. Run to here, attack. Repeat. And you're going to keep doing this until he's below 80% of his health. Okay, so every 20% damage you deal to Akkha, he's going to spawn a shadow. A shadow's going to spawn right here. Big thing for setup before you go in as well is to add a custom swap. I'll put the text in the description. Add a custom swap that prioritizes Akkha's shadows for your clicks. Because a lot of times Akkha's going to be walking over the shadow and you don't want to click Akkha because he's invincible. You don't want to be attacking him. You want to attack the shadow because we need to kill it. So we're going to add that as a custom swap. Custom menu swaps effectively is just going to make it so anything that you're left clicking in that pile, the Akkha's shadow is going to be prioritized. Also, what you want to make sure you have, and I think it's on by default, is shift click walk under, which is in menu entry swapper, because you're going to have to walk underneath the shadow to this tile while running. So you're going to shift click walk underneath so you don't click the shadow and get hit. Lots of plugin setup. Lots of plugin setup. There's a lot of stuff going on, but once you're in it, it's going to start to make sense. Another thing that's very helpful is to add the plugin monster HP percentage. You just put the boss name Akkha in there and you can see the health right over his body and you can see when it's going to phase. So you can see it'll say like 100 on his health, like directly on top of him. When it gets down to 80, you're going to know instantly, hey, I got to start hitting the shadow. So really, really helpful. Would recommend that plugin as well. So many plugins. There's a lot of setup that goes into it, but once it's done, right? Just get it correct from the get-go and then go from there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the room and I'm going to go straight to this tile and I'm going to start shooting Akkha. I'm going to wait for him to get a tile away and I'm going to start the cycle. There's one more thing to keep in mind. Besides hitting Akkha and then hitting the shadow, there's one more thing that's going to happen. He'll do special attacks. There's two possibilities that will happen. One, he'll do Simon Says. So he'll disappear off the screen and he'll start doing Simon Says, where these will light up. Based on your raid level or based on the room level, this is going to dictate how many Simon Says you need to do, right? So if it's 0 to 1 raid level, it'll do 4. If it's 2 to 3, it'll do 5. So for me, it's going to be 5 Simon Says. And if it's over 4 room level, it'll be 6. So you got to quick memorize, hey, how many Simon Says we're doing. If you have Feeling Special on, it's going to be really fast. If you don't have Feeling Special on, it's going to be incredibly slow. You should turn on Feeling Special. It's really good. It speeds up the raid. And also, it's just so much better for like doing teams, stuff like that. You definitely want that on. Good thing to keep in mind as well, there's a timer running whenever the shadows are up. If this timer fills up, the shadow is going to send a wave of damage at you. That's going to hurt you tremendously. Okay? So we're trying to kill it in time. When Akkha does Simon Says, that timer's paused, and you can keep hitting the shadows while you're doing Simon Says. That typically is going to avoid you ever having a problem with not making the DPS check. I'll show how to do a DPS skip, though. You want to make sure Akkha's not in a position where he can melee you, because if you get meleeed, he can swap styles. So we don't want to let him do that. So we're going to pot up. You normally would do salts. Nice thing with salts as well is they give you unlimited run energy, so you don't need a stamina like I have. Okay, so I've got a problem. I'm going to rotate around him. He was not in a good position for me. His left side has to line up with me. Okay, so I'm going to start from here. There's no difference. So wait for him to be a tile away. Start running. And that's literally it. This is what you're going to do. It's as simple as that. So it's wait for him to be one tile away and then just start running. Attack on the attack tiles. Click in between, click to attack, click attack. Right? Like it's literally as simple as that. But if you mess it up, he's going to hit you and it's going to pull you out of cycle. So it's basically just learn this cycle properly and you'll be good. So I'm about to phase him. One more hit. Let's summon a thrall. Okay, our shadows are up. So again, we're going to do the same thing, except I'm shooting the shadows now. And because it's prioritized, I can just always left click it. I don't have to worry about clicking Akkha. Okay, he's doing Simon Says. Just kidding. He's doing orbs. So what you want to do is the same thing as before. Go to the attack tile, wait for him to be a tile away and set it back up. He has a little delay, which can screw you up. So you want to keep that in mind. Okay, I beat the DPS check. I'll purposefully stall a little bit to show how to do a DPS skip after this. But typically with salts, I found, this is a 500 by the way without salt. You're probably never ever going to need to DPS skip with a Bofa. But I want to show it anyways just in case something goes wrong. Just so you know how to deal with it. You don't have to get hit by that. Okay, so we're still pushing Akkha. We're going to try to get him below 60, and then we're going to rotate over here. Okay, we're almost there. And he's going to do Simon Says fairly quickly. Okay, so we're going to move down here. Stand on the attack tile. Tile away. Move instantly. That's it. That's all you got to do. So now he's doing Simon Says. We see despawned, and I'm just looking at the lights. It's going to do 5. 3... 4, 5. And we're back and forth. So I can actually do shots in between. I troll. That's okay. That's the right one to get hit by. The lightning is the least damage. Same thing as before. Wait for him to be a tile away, set it back up, go. Easy. And you can also throw in a Kyrus in between. Just like that. And we're going to miss this, so let's show how to do a DPS skip. So you're just going to go here, 2 tiles away from the attack tile, and click to it as it stabs the ground. See what I did there? So you're clicking as the shadow stabs into the ground. That's when you're clicking to the attack tile. So you're jumping over it, effectively. So that's the idea. I'll show that again so you can see it again. But you just go to your start attack tile, like 2 tiles away from it, and then run into it as it stabs the ground. Pretty simple. No big deal. And again, this is a 500. So your DPS is going to be much, much better than 300. He has way less health. He has way less defense. You're never, ever going to have an issue beating his damage, but... Oh, hey, he hit me. So that means... Oh, I have keep back on as well. That's unfortunate. Ideally, you would have keep back off. I can't believe he hit me a 50. That's rude. He maxes 70. It's okay. We can Kyrus again soon. I might start over from scratch because I had to take a hit for that. Okay, he turned blue, so we're going to swap to this. Swap to ranged. Okay, I'm going to Kyrus. Can you talk about keep back? So one of the things they did as well is they reduced his chip damage. So this used to just obliterate you. I think it maxed like 16 through prayer with melees. But now you can actually kind of block them. So keep back isn't quite as bad as it used to be. Okay, I'm curious if he's going to switch now. We're going to move up to the attack tile. 1 tile away, same thing. We'll see if he switches. And just like that. And the nice thing about those orbs dropping, when you're doing butterfly, it never ever hits you. So you're totally safe. See if we beat this. It's getting kind of close. We beat it. Cool. That's why it helps to have the HP numbers on. The HP are in the Tombs of a Masket plugin as well for the shadows, so you can just flick those on and see the exact HP they have and if you'll win or not. He should be doing a special right about now. I'm curious if he will swap or not. Let's repot. Restam. Okay, he did swap. All right. That's okay. We deal with it. So you just start meleeing if he does swap. No biggie. And I even have keep back on. We'll see how bad the damage is. Keep in mind, this is in terrible melee gear as well. I'm literally wearing Blue Moon. Like, he doesn't hit you that hard anymore. It's a huge difference, the chip damage reduction. Keeping in mind, this is a 500 as well. In paper armor. Not bad. So we're going to swap to range. When you're dealing with the shadows and he's not meleeing, you can also step out of range so you don't take the melee damage like this. So you can avoid a lot of the damage. Okay, he's melee now, and he's doing Simon Says. Simon Says pauses the timer, so we'll keep doing damage in between. Okay, I'm going to do a shot from here. Move to the attack tile. Wait for him to get a tile away. And we're good. So even with some mistakes made, even without any healing items except the Kyrus, in a 500 without salt, you're just totally fine. That's with keep back on as well in paper armor. So you can see the update makes a slight difference. Not to mention, you'll see that come phase has become dramatically easier as well when we do that in a second. You said you would show the skip again? I can actually do that right now. So you can do it from the wrong quadrant. Let's just show it. So you can see the timer's filling up. I'm just going to heal up because he's going to be hitting me a little bit. So he's going to drop orbs, so this will keep charging up. So just watch the shadow. You're watching the shadow. As soon as this fills up, he's going to do the animation. And click into it, just like that. Sorry, I had to like time it with the melee prey, range prey, which made it a little awkward, but you're just clicking directly into that tile as it does the spear animation. And that's how you dodge it. In a 300, you're really never gonna have to deal with that. It's incredibly rare to have to deal with that, so no big deal. But I just want to show it just in case. You never know if something goes horrendously wrong. You can get super unlucky. Maybe you're both in noodles like crazy. It could happen. Okay, I have no super combat. Let's see how this looks. You're going to see a slight difference. So if you're used to TBOW before, you'll know this is slightly, slightly less to deal with. Dramatically less crap on the screen. This phase got a lot safer. It's going to use a lot less supplies. If you were used to like slamming brew during this phase, like not very good at it, not really going to be the case anymore. Okay, come on. We got him, boys. Easy, easy. There you go. So that's a 500 with terrible stats, terrible gear. No problem. So huge. If you are a mid-level player or like an Iron Man, don't have a shadow yet, and you're like, how does this affect me? Akkha's become 10 times easier. You can do it with a Bofa. It's fine. You can also butterfly with an Atlatl. And I'm going to do that guide separately, so be looking for that. Atlatl's 3-tick, but it uses the same tiles, so it's fairly simple to do. You can still do it with an Atlatl. Atlatl is like 10 to 15% worse, which sucks, but you also don't need a Bofa, right? Atlatl's giga cheap. Best options for Akkha now are Atlatl, Bofa, or Shadow. Like, use one of those and you'll be fine. You can do a 500 with any of those. So when Mocha comes out, which is happening fairly soon-ish, a month or so, the new in-between Sang and Shadow 3-tick mage weapon is coming out. You can also butterfly with that, with the same method as Atlatl. So when I show that, you can use that same method for that. That's going to be your best option until Shadow. Very, very slick. And it's even better at a 300 raid level. You can spec with it too. The spec also works on Akkha, where most defense training specs don't work. So it's also really good for them. ZCB Butterfly is also 8.8. So ZCB Butterfly works. It's kind of deceptive, the DPS, because every time you get him, you can't hit him above that 80% threshold, or like each 20% quadrant threshold. Right? So if you hit a Ruby and he's at 82%, it's going to pull him to 80% exactly, which kind of sucks. It's a lot less DPS than the calcs will show, but you definitely can, if you're a Masori ZCBer, you definitely can butterfly with that the same way you would butterfly with a Shadow, so that works as well. Never ever butterfly with a TBOW, because Akkha's mage level is 0. It's not 0, but it's very low. I don't know exactly what it is. Never ever use a TBOW. It's terrible. It's worse than a rune crossbow. So you don't ever want to butterfly with a TBOW. You're like, I'm a TBOW user. Do I use that? No! No, don't use that. Anything else is way better. So don't use that. Bring a crossbow swap. If all you've got is a rune crossbow, bring that. Like, it's better than a TBOW. Do something else, because it's terrible. It's a really bad option. Send the Bofa runs, boys. You can easily now do 500s in mid-level gear. It's crazy. More guides to come. I'll see you then. Leave a like and subscribe. Bye. Later.